What's up, everybody? It's Josh here with the Big 3 IDP Podcast. Come on in, start trickling in, settle in around the campfire. It's a nice, cool evening here in Bowling Green, Addy. We're going to be starting up here in just a sec.
Right. Love our country.
No, we just watched the train wreck that was the first debate. So, yeah, we'll hopefully not be as much of a train wreck as what that was. So come on in.
We're going to talk over each other even worse, though.
I will. I have mute control over these two idiots. So if they get out of hand, we'll take care of it.
It's an easy fix, right, Josh?
Easy fix.
Just mute the mics.
Mute the mics. Just
Josh,
turn it off. 2
Josh
minutes.
and Joe Rogan have officially partnered for the next podcast. We're working on getting both the Democratic and the Republican side to agree, but Josh is going to help Joe Rogan on muting the mics while the other party is talking.
Yes, and you get 2 minutes or whatever the time limit is, and then I'm just going to turn you off. I don't care. I don't care if you're in the middle of the most important or poignant thing you've ever said. Time's up, bro. I'm going to hit him with the... Wait, let's see which one it is. I think it says wrap it up. Wrap it up. There you go. That's right.
Or the fart noise.
Or the fart noise.
As soon as they hit the... Yeah.
So, come on in. We're going to start here in just a sec, but get those questions ready. We got a little bit of a new format tonight. We're excited to roll out. I think fans of the pod from way back in the day will be more familiar with this style of pod. So come on in. We'll be starting here in just a bit.
Yeah, get back to our roots.
Well said, Addy. You're so
Spoiler alert, I'm not going to eat White Castle.
Yeah, it was too late. We'll do it next week.
I was saying that as like just a general thing, just never eating White Castle.
Oh, no, you are eating White Castle. You are 100% going to eat White Castle.
Nah.
That's... You're afraid of it?
I thought you would be a big White Castle fan.
He would.
Why?
He's scared.
Because you love trash food.
He's afraid. He doesn't...
I am very...
Don't even start with my culture. My palate is culture.
Dude, your
No.
brother will eat White Castles.
I know. I'm not
will
saying
not
there's
eat White
things there I
Castle.
would...
You've eaten a White Castle.
Accidentally.
There's
You had sliders in here before.
I did not eat them. I'll eat their fries. Their fries are fine.
You didn't eat one of the sliders?
I'll tell you what I would eat would be their chicken ring sandwiches.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's plenty of stuff at every place
Hold
I
on,
would
you
eat.
haven't had a slider either?
No, I haven't had a slider. either.
Gross.
Everything tastes like onions there.
Yeah, I'm not an onion boy.
It's disgusting.
It's fine, boys.
Again, I would eat the chicken rings. I'd get a cheeseburger without the onions on it. But if I'm going to get a cheeseburger and eat,
We'll get them plain. You'll get them plain.
yeah, I would eat one. I'm sure they're great.
You'll
that
try
way.
one plain, right?
Yes, I will.
Yeah,
try one with
absolutely.
cheese. Absolutely,
With cheese.
yes.
Yeah,
100%.
mini.
I'll try it.
Like but if I want mini cheeseburgers, I just go down to Frosty Freeze in Franklin, and that's the best mini cheeseburgers in this part of Kentucky.
Yeah, well, you
Also had cheeseburgers. So this is my hot take before we get going.
got to go to Franklin, though, Connor. You can go, like,
No.
5 minutes down the road.
I was showing, oddly enough, I went to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and I showed property there, and I went to Farrell's. I don't know if you've heard of Farrell's. It's like a famous mom and pop cheeseburger joint. There's like 4 in the state, and they're all like 100+ years old. Went to one of them. Best cheeseburger I've ever had. It was $4 for a double cheeseburger.
Wow.
But they cooked it in front of you, and it was like the size of probably both of my fists put on each other. So I probably lost a few years. That was like the triple baconator.
Yeah, but that's a great story. We'll tell that story on tonight's pod. All right, you boys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's jump
Do it,
into
babe.
it. Let's jump into it.
Everyone retweet. Everyone make sure you retweeted the episode.
I love how you always have a little laugh at the end.
I'm not going to do it anymore now.
Yeah, you are. You're gonna be super self-conscious.
No, you need to.
All right, here we go, boys. 3.
It's the big 3, it's the dream team. Adam, Bobby, Josh, you got the news feed. It's the big 3, it's the dream team. Big 3, IDP, let's go.
What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big 3 IDP Podcast. And I'm joined in the Sode Shack tonight by 2 gentlemen whose brain cell counts are a little bit lower than they were a few hours ago. To my right, Adam Markham. To my left, Connor Raymer. Connor, we'll start with you. If you had to describe the debate that just happened in, let's say, 3 words, what are you saying?
Hurricane.
Feces?
I'm just trying to think of like when Dwight's describing himself on his job interview where he's like alpha male, jackhammer, Like, it was just a total, it was just, not to sound like Trump in general, but it was a literal disaster. Like,
Hurricane vomit.
yeah, hurricane vomit
Help.
and total nightmare. Hell, yeah.
No,
just
he
like
said-
three
he
general.
said- He said help.
Yeah. Oh, I said hell. Both.
Hell's good as
Yeah,
well.
both would work.
Works,
Yeah.
That's a great way to describe it, and what a ringing endorsement of our country here in 2020. As if the year couldn't get any worse, it somehow has.
Yeah, it's
Congrats,
not good.
2020, worst year in history. But you know who's not having a bad year, Addy?
The Proud Boys.
Well, hard transition from that, but Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if you saw, just announced that him and his fiance are expecting.
Yeah.
The dude got $500 million contract, got himself a Super Bowl ring, already has an MVP, got a Super Bowl MVP, got engaged, and now has a kid on the way.
Just getting it all out of the way.
Patrick
Just doing it all.
Mahomes is living. I think he's like 24 years old.
Worried that he's peaking a little too soon.
He's like a child actor.
Yeah.
Going to peak a little too early.
yeah.
Did y'all see how tall his brother Jackson is? The TikTok star
Here he
Jackson.
is, Connor. Loving Jackson.
Yeah, I was going to say, let us know, because you're plugged into the zeitgeist, as we know.
He is no joke. They posted a picture of the whole family today. I think it was probably after the announcement of, obviously, he and his fiance having their first child. So
Jackson
congrats.
Mahomes is 6 feet 6 inches tall.
100%. That I
I'm
didn't.
looking it
Okay,
up.
yeah. I was gonna say he is a huge dude. So, maybe Jackson Mahomes next one to get in on the big contract like Patrick has. So
Does his brother play any kind of sports, or is he just TikTok?
no, I
famous?
think he's just like social media famous.
Well, I
So,
saw a
good for him.
judge kind of set the TikTok ban aside, like kind of staved off the execution of all these TikTok stars.
Thank God.
I know, right? I don't know what we would do without all the TikToking.
TikTokers are the only thing that matters in this world.
The only thing holding 2020 together are the TikTokers. So tonight's episode, guys, is going to be a little looser. We've been promising this, and shout out Lauren for the great message we got where he said, "Love the show, guys. My favorite part is at the end of every episode where you apologize for talking about IDP." And the point that we were trying to make there was we knew that the first couple weeks there were very stat heavy. You know, we were trying to, get the listeners a firm foundation for the season, Addy.
Wanted to, maybe a lot of times we get new listeners at the beginning. So
That's
we're
right.
kind of thinking, hey, let's let me fool these people. Let them think that we're smart. We know about numbers and stuff.
Let's put our best foot forward. You
Sure.
know, it's like a Zoom call where you've got the suit, jacket, and tie on up top, and then downstairs is your ratty underwear with holes.
Talking numbers, baby.
Yeah, so that was the old bait and switch. They thought they were getting like an establish the run type of show with lots of stats, and now we're going to talk about fart jokes and fast food takes for an hour and a half
Yeah, that's what we're.
with some football mixed in.
That's what we really started the podcast for, was to do that stuff and then occasionally sprinkle in some football.
That's right. That's right. So no, we're going to have. Thank you very much. We're going to have a format that we're going to use here, Connie, that is going to be consistent throughout the rest of the season. We're going to be doing one episode a week on Tuesdays, along with the live stream, and we'll also have Dr. Lizus on Saturday. We're going to hit the news, waiver wire targets. We're going to have an IDP Q&A, Connie, where we ask the type of questions that an IDP newbie like yourself might have, just to help some of our listeners out there who might be new to IDP and have questions.
That's right. I'm the village idiot right now in the IDP community. So, there will be some questions that I feel like I'll take a few bullets for people that are new like myself to the IDP community that are probably afraid to ask or want to know the answers to. So, like you said, we won't just be a bunch of boners that cite off a bunch of stats. We want to have some fun and, again, contribute to those, new and old alike to IDP. So it'll be fun.
Come on. So we have the IDP Q&A. We'll also do Who'd You Get, and then like a fantasy football update. And then each week we'll have a new segment where we, bring a little bit of creative juice to the pod.
Sure,
Addy.
some flair.
Some flavor every week. So this week we are going to be hitting the most disappointing players through 3 weeks of the NFL season. Our fearless researcher Z-Mags put this list together, Addy. We've got 10 players across all position groups that we're going to touch on. Some dudes who have frankly done that to your team so far this year, and some big names on this list. We tried to go for guys. The test was very high ADP coming into the season and not a great ranking for their position right now. So we'll touch on those 10 guys at the end of the episode. But let's start with the news here, gentlemen. And We knew it was coming, Connie. We knew this moment. We knew we weren't going to be able to dodge this bullet all season. The Titans have had a COVID-19 outbreak. 3 players and 5 personnel tested positive for the virus. The Titans players who tested positive: defensive lineman Daquan Jones, long snapper Bo Brinkley, and tight end Tommy Hudson, who's on the practice squad. So these guys all hit the COVID-19 list for the Titans. The Titans will be remote all week, Connie, not in their facility until Saturday. Minnesota, Adam, you'll be happy to know, no positive tests. They should be able to get back into their facility, I read, within 48 hours, as long as there's no more positive tests that come through. Games are still on schedule for now. There's a contingency plan in place to bump the Titans-Steelers game back to Monday if needed. But, Connor, we've seen all season the NFL is pretty hell-bent on this season going according to plan unless some kind of doomsday scenario happens with a team.
I personally think that's how you have to approach the season throughout the entire year. People are going to get this, and as long as it's controlled and, like you said, not something that – and I don't know if you have to put a number on it, if so many X amount of players or staff or personnel have it. It's like everything else with this. It's, the goalposts are ever changing in terms of where we draw the line with this and what's policy and what's procedure and what's best protocol. So I'm with the NFL, which is a rare thing. I love to dog Goodell like a lot of media outlets do. And
so far it's been good, though.
Yeah,
They've done a nice job.
Give credit where credit's due. They've done a nice job, and I just however this game has to be played, that's too good of a game to not play. Obviously, if we have guys that are missing that are studs or even nobodies, you need to play the game if you can safely.
That's what the NFL has basically said without saying, is that as long as you can field a roster on game day, you are going to play the game.
And I go back to this point, and I'm not trying to sound insensitive to those with, that had, fears towards COVID. And, it is absolutely a new wrinkle, not only to day-to-day life, but as an NFL player. But let's not pretend NFL players don't know the inherent risk of the game they're playing every single time they've played from the time they played when they were little. So
I think COVID's probably like 8th on the list of things that scared them the most about playing football.
And I think if you were giving them some truth serum, it may be much further down than that when you actually see some of the men they're going up against and have to play against. So again, not downplaying it. I'm sure a lot of people are scared of it if they fall under a certain umbrella.
They had the chance to opt out too.
They did.
If they were like, I'm really worried, I have a pre-existing condition, I want to be able to see my grandma, or my wife is battling breast cancer, like they had the chance to bow out. And so now it's about containing, I think, the virus and, trying not to let this thing wreak too much havoc on the season.
Shitty thing is, like a lot of us, some of them probably wanted to opt out or wanted to stop working like some of us did. But guess what? You got bills coming in. So
That's right.
You got to go to work and you got to take risk every day. So I'm with everybody, and I get it in that regard. We're still working. All of us here are still working.
Still grinding, Addy.
You virus denier.
Virus denier.
No, man. I'm for everybody making their own decisions that keeps everybody safe generally.
Hey, man. That's what's great about this country. That's right.
Adam, you all right over there, bud?
Adam's crying.
He just needs a moment to
cry.
cry.
He needs a moment. He's sobbing uncontrollably.
So next news item here that is sort of related, if you believe that the agent for Earl Thomas. The Texans, Addy, looked to be signing Earl Thomas earlier in the week. I think Schefter tweeted at one point, or maybe Rappaport, that it's more likely than not a deal gets done with the Texans and Earl Thomas. Today, turns out the Texans have canceled the workout, and according to them, the first tweet that I saw determined that Earl Thomas would not be a good fit for their team. Now, the agent came out and said, no, the Texans told us that because of this outbreak that we have had to cancel all of our workouts. So I think there's probably truth in both, but the Texans absolutely, the coded message was, oh my God, we didn't realize Earl Thomas was this big of an asshole, and we're just going to cancel this workout.
Oh, brother.
No, is that really just going to be it for you this episode?
Yes, sir. No, it's, I mean, kind of some interest there. Thought that, I don't know, for IDP, not much, but you figure it's Earl Thomas. He's been around the block. He's been a part of some great defenses. Surely, he understands that he's probably run out of chances. So
I would say so. As you burn the bridge and piss on it on your way out of town in the last two stops.
Yeah. But yeah, just I mean, he's a bad person. That's unfortunately for him. He's
Locker
a bad
room cancer.
right.
He comes in like a big O and just drops it, just crop dust your whole locker room.
And I'm not sure that's what you need to drop into a. Are they 0-3? They're 0-3, right?
Yes, because
they're winless.
Their schedule has been just
True,
brutal.
True,
But that's not a good team.
No, I don't think so either. That offense just
Looks lost.
not good.
No.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing, but it's Bob. That's what happens when you got the GM coach combo.
That's right.
He is literally Jackie Moon.
He is. If only he was playing.
I was going to say he is going to get a helmet at some point. You'd be like, why does Bill O'Brien have a helmet on?
Who got traded for was it a washing machine or a refrigerator?
No, it was a washing machine.
It's a washing machine. And don't pet the possum. Was that right?
Steve Possum tried to kill it. It's not a pet.
Not pet. Connor will be happy about this. The monster Jarrell Casey out for the season for the Denver Broncos.
That's a shame.
What a
hate that,
shame.
Jarrell.
Another news here. This is great. This is note from Z-Mags. This is not him being a homer. This is actually important news, and I agree. Nick Foles, Big Dick Nick, has been named the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Connor, are you surprised, not surprised that it took basically like 2.5 games for Mitchell Trubisky to get benched?
They have been wanting to bench Mitch basically by his first season, especially when they saw what the other quarterbacks from that draft class were doing, like Mahomes and a few others. But, I just thought it was a matter of time, really, before a guy like Nick or another capable backup came in and took that job. I don't think Mitch gets that job back. And I think they have the Colts, right, at home this week. The Bears do, I'm pretty certain.
Well,
So
I'll take a look while you.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they have that, and it's supposed to be, I'm pretty sure, like a monsoon. So we'll see. I don't know if we'll see a whole lot.
So it's at
That's right.
Chi-Town?
Yeah, it's at Chicago.
It's at Chicago. It's supposed
Yep,
to be like a
noon
really
game.
windy, rainy game. So
It kind of sucks. I know you guys probably would have rather played Mitch.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not excited about it being
I think
Nick,
this
man, he
Bears
just
team,
got that.
yeah, he's
God,
got
he's
that,
got that hog.
Got that hog.
that
Yes,
magic,
sir.
that magic energy, man. There's something to it.
I mean,
some
it's-
of these throws he was making, that one to, who was it, Anthony Miller that won the game, where it was like, if they're going to blitz, just go to the L in ATL, and I'm going to throw it up, and you're going to catch the touchdown and win the game. Did you see this? During the TV timeout, that's what Nick Foles told Anthony Miller.
Wow.
No, I
Run to
missed
the
that.
L. It's like the backyard. He said, run to the L. I'm going to throw it up because they're going to blitz me. Foles got crushed on that throw and just threw up a dime.
That's tight.
He'd
dude.
still be in Jacksonville, and I think the ship would still be somewhat held together if he didn't, like, what did he, like, broke his collarbone and broke
broke
something?
his collarbone
like
game
week 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Was that against the Colts?
It might have been. No, we played them the first game this year.
That's
Okay.
the problem with him, though. He gets hurt a lot, man.
Yeah.
Every stop he's gotten hurt,
So this is, I think, if he can stay healthy, I think this team will be frisky. But the kind of truism I've come to accept with Nick Foles is he's the guy who looks best on your bench holding the clipboard. If he's your starter for what now, 13 games? I don't know about that. We'll see.
Well, yeah, like the ideal situation for him, you to be in contention all the way up to the end, and he comes in there at
It's the
week
Eagles.
15, 16.
We saw the perfect formula
Exactly.
for him coming in and having this magical ride through the playoffs and taking you to the Super Bowl. So I am, if I'm a Bears fan though, I am excited because
3-0,
yeah, you're 3-0. You've got
huge comeback.
it's a little more stable. Maybe the ceiling's not quite as high with Nick Foles, but I think the floor is a lot higher too.
Feels like he just gives the offense some juice, especially those receivers that are actually good.
They are.
A-Rob's one of the better receivers in the league. Anthony Miller's very underrated. Jimmy Graham,
Resurrected.
he's back. We were dogging him, a lot this offseason, but
he still moves like an 86-year-old man,
Right.
but 86-year-old men can catch passes.
he's doing fine.
So speaking of Allen Robinson, Connor, I wanted to get your take on something as the youngest one in this group here. So there's been this trend. Saquon Barkley was the latest one to do this after he tore his ACL. He deleted all of his Giants pictures and stuff off of his Instagram. Allen Robinson did this earlier in the season. What is your take on players using this as a negotiating tactic, deleting all their stuff off of social media?
I don't think every case is that. I think just the younger generation in general uses social media, whether it be, YouTube or the Grom, and they use it as a way to like show the not to sound like a corny cliche, but like the butterfly, the change from the caterpillar to the butterfly. So, they're going through these big moments, right? Whether it be an injury or a contract year or whatever. And they're using that platform to, showcase that journey in different elements and starting fresh and whatever that means. Again, coming back from an injury like Saquon, I don't think he's necessarily throwing shades towards a giant. I think he's just trying to like build it up in his own mind, like build up this, no pun intended, literal giant that he has to overcome and show like this is a whole new me. And I think it can leverage for certain players in certain scenarios to show, Ebron did that when he got wind last year that the Colts and him, that was the first sign there was going to be that divorce.
Hey, it works. Stephon
it does.
Diggs.
Yeah, it works.
That was my take because they were discussing this on the Around the NFL podcast, and I sided with both sides of the argument because Erica Tamposi, who's their producer, was saying this is how it works now. This is how the younger generation handles things. And Chris Wessling, who's older, in his mid-40s, said this is passive-aggressive. This is not like a desirable human trait. And I'm like, I don't disagree with Chris, but it is an effective strategy.
Yeah, and
now,
it gives these players, power in a way.
It does, but at the end of the day, if I'm the GM, you deleted your pictures off of Instagram, we still have your contract, Alan. Or player X,
But it's showing you're bigger than their brand. That's what the players are trying to enforce.
And A-Rob's going to get paid anywhere.
Yeah, that's what he's showing. Like,
he
I'm bigger
care.
than your
he
brand.
Has leverage, but he has actual leverage because his contract is expiring. He's a young, talented player.
The quarterback situation's in limbo.
Exactly.
He knows that. Most people around, and I don't know why players are not more mindful of that. It's like A-Rob knew he was he went from Bortles to Trubisky. It's like, bro, you got yourself in this situation a little bit. Like, guys, pay attention. That's gonna mess up your next payday potentially. Like, don't screw around with that. Go to good situations.
Yeah, in the sports corny cliche pantheon is being put in a position to succeed. I mean, that's what you want with your next contract if you're a wide receiver or running back or whatever.
You want to rack up them stats.
Exactly.
Typically just comes at a cost. But what's the long-term cost, right? You go to a team that has success, you may take a short-term pay cut for the longevity of you're a star, you get endorsement deals, you win championships, longevity in the league. So I'm like you all, it's a definite trade-off, and I can see the older generation's point of, hey, let's try to talk this out. But again, I definitely side with the younger generation in a sense of you always hear this expression in the NFL, right? This is a business. Well, okay. In a business, there are negotiations, and however you have to leverage a negotiation to your benefit, you should do that within the realm of being respectful and honest to the other person you're doing fair dealings with. So if that means making it seem like you're bigger than their brand and they take issue with it, so be it. That's my job. That's my agent's job.
Yeah, I think
unreal discussion night.
I'm not super pumped to give $100 million contract to someone who yanks all their pictures down, because if I'm the GM of a team, my message is we will get this contract worked out. Let's just keep it behind closed doors. Let's not let this leak out into the media. Have this, because that's the thing. You can't do this because we live in a world where this is instant news. We're talking about this the minute it happens. Yeah. And so you can't do this thinking nobody's going to notice.
Definitely not my speed, right? I wouldn't behave that way. But I mean, if you're a slick GM, I wouldn't care, man.
If you had a feeling you were going to get burned by a GM and both of y'all are playing and your agent is in your corner saying you have to make it seem like you're apathetic if you get re-signed and that you will leave to leverage yourself, boys, you're deleting your entire page.
Yeah.
If it's for your paycheck, if that's what, and I honestly think that's what it is. And I think that the younger kids like that. Again, they see it as a canvas that they don't want to chronicle their entire life on there. They want to constantly update that catalog of their Instagram and the YouTubes and the face space and all the social medias.
There's no loyalty to these teams anymore.
No.
That's like this whole generation. I mean, LeBron, the biggest star of our generation. He's played for 4 different teams.
They finally realized there was no loyalty to them.
3 teams. But back to the other one.
Back to the other one again. Yeah. So, anyways, interesting debate. Let us know what you guys think. Some more news here, fellas. Driscoll's already been benched by the Denver Broncos. Brett Ripien is going to get the start there. Not much else needs to be said. Sorry, Denver. That season is quickly swirling down the toilet for them. Addy, this next piece of news pains me to say, but rumor has it Danielle Hunter has a herniated disc, may not be ready when he comes off IR. Tweets today that I saw you retweet seem to confirm that. My spidey sense is tingling. I'm beginning to suspect we won't see Hunter again this season.
Ooh-wee.
At least on a timeline that helps fantasy managers. Like I could see a week 12 return, but then your fate's pretty much sealed, especially with Danielle Hunter probably being your first overall IDP pick for most squads.
Yeah, not what we wanted to see. Because he's due to come off the IR. This was he was eligible, but yeah, it's gonna. I'm afraid you're right. It's probably gonna be if he does come back week 11, week 12. But even when he does, like he's likely going to be on a snap count, or just not as effective. I mean, we've seen just the amount of change on that line, and there really hasn't been anyone popping off, out of that unit. So, yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I know everyone burned a top pick on him, but probably a wasted pick this year.
I was going to say, every year we get this kind of wiener punch from the top of the draft, whether it's Saquon Barkley on offense, now CMC's out for multiple weeks
this
with
year's
a high
been
ankle
dumb.
sprain.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown's been out, Michael Thomas has been out, Devontae Adams has been out, Julio Jones has been out. I mean, it is
And we also got to keep in mind, like the Vikings, they're 0-3.
That's right.
So, I mean, if they continue to lose, like they're not going to have much incentive to bring Hunter back.
That's what I was going to ask you. At this point, as a Vikings fan, do you think I honestly think they're going to enter. If they lose again, they're going to be in the tank for Trevor conversation very soon.
I agree.
They need to be. And yeah, I was on board when we hit 0-2. Like,
and it may be time to part ways with Cousins before the end of the year. If somebody, I don't know if.
I think he's a great quarterback to have there. It's kind of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type bridge.
Yeah, he's
so
fine.
Whenever Trevor or Justin Fields or whoever is ready to take the reins.
Oh, it's day one with both of them.
They just gave Cousins a new contract. Very kind of under the radar, gave him a new deal. So he's going to be there. We had Chiefs-Ravens last night. Was
boys. I don't think that I've ever moaned during a game like I did in that one. That Chiefs offense.
They're operating on
moan-worthy.
Whole nother level. I mean, the closest thing we have to moan is the yes, but
I was watching them and I was just I was watching with my wife. She was just we were laying in bed watching it, and she'd be like, "Adam, what is going on?
Do you have chips and salsa over there I don't know about?" You're like, no.
But it was just some of the plays, just yummy, boys. It is sexy. They're so good.
That Chiefs offense. I mean, they had offensive linemen catching touchdown passes, fullbacks catching touchdown passes.
The whole squad got involved, just spreading it around everyone. And Edwards-Helaire, he's so good.
He's so good.
He's so good. And he's so perfect for that offense. The fact that they can throw it to the running back, 20, 30 yards downfield now. It's just they are so hard to deal with.
That Tyreek catch was insane. Absolutely, I think it was the one where Mahomes faded back, I think 12 yards, and then threw this beautiful arcing pass, and Tyreek went up and snatched it in the end zone with this guy all over him. I was like, oh my God, what a catch.
It was a beautiful night from Casey. My favorite was the fake left, the fake right.
Shovel pass.
And then shovel pass.
Yes, dude.
Just
brilliant. That's Andy Reid. Connor, his face mask was not fogged up. I think he was actually able to see the field this time.
Yeah, Frank Reich also did the face mask.
I noticed that as well.
And I think he said somebody from a local college or something that had partnered with an engineer to get one that did not fog up, because I didn't. Of course, Andy's the first week was laugh out loud funny.
It was just like a shower door.
Yeah, that was just so funny to watch. But so fun fact from that game, I don't know if we've mentioned this yet. Eric, what's his last name? That was the left tackle that caught that touchdown.
Eric Fisher.
Eric Fisher is the last first pick in the draft to catch a touchdown in the last X amount of years.
Wow.
Because he was a number 1 overall pick,
and
right?
Luke Jokel that year 13, I think, maybe 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the last first pick in the draft to
'Cause
catch, and I don't know
typically-
how many years, but it was like a law. I saw that on the Twitterverse today.
Typically, first picks are quarterbacks. So,
Yeah.
it could happen. You could have a kind of a wide receiver pass back to the quarterback, I guess. But I guess that hasn't happened with any of the first-round picks.
They tried that with Luck a few times, and literally, as he's retired now, they literally almost killed him. If we could somehow like stitch that in, or we'll put that on maybe one of the social medias.
I remember that. Like
They
threw
did it
high.
twice in the same game and legitimately almost killed him right after he had just come back from all the
from
crazy
his
stuff.
lacerated,
Yeah.
whatever,
Just
kidney.
laugh out loud.
Yeah, so bad. So we should mention, Addy, very excited. A little bit of a tease for next week. We are going to be having PFF's own John Macri on the show.
Rising star in the
Rising
community.
star. This was a guy that you sent over like, hey, check this guy out. John has been one of my absolute favorite follows.
Yeah, he's so money, and he's still super underfollowed.
Yeah,
no reason for it, man. He tweets out such good nugs, every week after usually every game. He's just he's a great follow. It seems like a great fella too, just a really nice guy.
I've enjoyed getting to talk to him. So he's got PFF's blessing. He's going to be on the show. Every single one of our followers, do yourself a favor. Go follow John. It's at PFF_Macri. That's MACRI. John will be joining the show next week to talk about the biggest surprises through the first month of the season.
Be some number talk, I'd say.
I'd say you're right. Get some insight from the PFF hive mind. I am super excited. Boys, let's talk waiver wire targets. There's been, thankfully, not as many devastating injuries on the defensive side of the ball, but this is waiver night. A lot of people are thinking, who should I be putting in bids on? So, Addy, we had Z-Mags put together a list here of some guys that are not, heavily rostered in Yahoo leagues right now. And so we're going to run through some of these, and I want to get your temperature on whether or not you're interested. Theoretically, we won't tip your hand as to your waiver wire bids here, but theoretically, if you're interested or if our listeners should be interested in these guys, all right? Here we go. Vince Williams, 4% rostered in Yahoo.
I don't think so.
Our boy Dr. Leesus made a good point, or maybe it was Sneeko. One of the two I think it was Sneeko, said, I hate having him on my roster because I can never figure out when to play him. I'm going to start him. I'm going to put him in because he's had a nice start to the season, and he's going to completely crap my team.
Yeah, that just seems to be how it usually goes for him. He's done this stuff before, but consistency is always an issue.
That's right. All right, what about Nick Morrow? 1% ownership as long as Nick Quick is out. You interested in Nick Morrow?
Yeah, as long as Nick's out, for sure.
There you go. BJ Goodson. With Mac Wilson out, he's practicing again, could be coming back in, but as long as he's out, only 2% rostered.
Yeah, Mac Wilson got 9% of the snaps last week, but it was just nice to see him back out there. A lot of us thought that I remember talking before the season started. We thought he's almost done
for the season.
So it's just nice seeing him back out there this soon. I would expect him to slowly work him in because he is coming back so quickly. But yeah, I think both of those guys can be productive. I think Goodson and Wilson will be the guys you want.
All right. Couple more at the linebacker position here. Ty Summers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Christian Kirksey, we knew it was a ticking time bomb.
Yep, it happened.
And it happened.
So.
Now, we don't know the extent of the injury. I don't think he's out for the season, is he?
I don't think so. But,
who knows?
We'll be monitoring.
It's always
that.
more devastating with Christian Kirksey.
Yep.
It's like, he stubbed his toe. No, his whole foot fell off. Sorry, guys. So, yeah, Ty Summers, interesting pickup there.
Yep.
Somebody has to make the tackles. What about Logan Wilson? Cincinnati?
I don't think so. I mean, potentially, we're going to see how Pratt continues to shake out. Pratt actually had a pretty productive week, so that was nice to see after the down week too. But I think it's still going to be him and Bynes. Logan Wilson did get a pick though, so that was nice to see. I mean, coaches love that stuff. I imagine that we could see an uptick going forward. So yeah, monitor that.
Yeah, so that's probably a no for me right now. What about Brian Burns?
Oh yeah, he probably shouldn't be out there, but he is in a lot of places.
Yeah, 1% rostered in Yahoo leagues.
Now, if he's a linebacker, that's gonna be
That's grosser.
a downer.
But defensive line especially.
No brainer.
Go
He could really be like a top 18 option this year.
He could, and this guy is surprising, but Z-Mag said only 28% rostered. Akeem Hicks.
He's been great. He's been
Go
back
get
to his
him.
old form.
Love to see it.
He's top 15 in pressures right now. Actually, he's 10th in pressures. He has 13 pressures.
He's the
Hey.
second in sacks, isn't he?
I think he's up there too. Yep.
Behind Alden Smith, who has 4.
You want to know the top 5 pressure
Yes,
leaders?
please. Hit me with it.
Aaron Donald, 20. Myles Garrett, 19. Joey Bosa, 19. TJ Watt, 18. Bud Dupree, 17.
Wow. Connor, how excited are you for Bud Dupree to be number 5 in pressures right now?
Shout out Bud Dupree, man. He's having a great year, and I'm excited to watch him ball out against whenever him and the Titans get a chance to play. So.
That's right. Yeah, you love to see it. We should not be surprised by any of these names. Maybe Bud Dupree being in the top 5 is a little bit of a shocker, but the rest of that list makes a lot of sense. These are the guys that are the best defensive linemen in the NFL.
It's crazy how many Steelers are on this list.
Is Bud in a contract year?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
we've talked about
He
that.
got tagged.
He's playing
He
ball.
got franchise tagged.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's gonna
get
secure the bag.
He'll get the bag from the Steelers.
Yeah,
I
good
really
for you,
and truly
buddy.
believe that.
Good
So,
job on Steelers tagging him, man.
for real, not letting him get out the door. They
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah, he'll be a hot
And
commodity.
hopefully it was one of those where it's like, we're not just going to squeeze the juice out of you for the next 2 or 3 years on the tag and then let you go out and not make any money on the open market. Hopefully it was one of those where our cap situation just won't. It's not going to happen this year, but just stick with us and we'll get you paid next year.
Another little surprise. Let me add on to this. Stephon Tuitt, 17 as well. He's tied 5th.
Wow, really?
Steelers. So they have TJ Watt at 18, Bud Dupree at 17, Tuitt at 17, Cam Hayward at 14.
Well, remember we made this joke when we were recapping Steelers Broncos that everyone had like 8 pressures in that game.
That's right.
So that poor Drew Lock and old Jeff Driscoll were running for their lives back there.
Yeah.
Now, what about this guy, Eddie? I know you said you're off Brandon Graham. Had a nice week, though. I think 29 points in RSO.
Yeah, I mean he's a good option. You know, I hate, but this could be one of those up years for him.
That's right. Kerry Hyder.
Need
Not
to
so
see it a
much.
little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, the opportunity's there with Nick Bosa gone, with the D Ford banged up. So, yeah, I'm intrigued for sure. Chase Winovich.
Absolutely. 12 pressures right now on only 121 snaps.
That's your boy, right?
He's great. I mean, I love his hair. That's
He's all first team all flow.
unreal. But he's really looking good. Belichick, stop being a weirdo and like let these dudes like give him the full lion's share of snaps. Like give him the typical edge rusher snaps. Like the big boys. Like
Yeah.
come on. Like you don't have a lot of
65,
talent.
75% at least.
You don't have a ton of talent on that defense. Like play Winovich more.
For
Like,
real. Connor, I know you'll appreciate this. All the years the Colts were tortured by Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Did you see what he did to Derek Carr this week? Did you see the tweets?
The doubling
The check down.
Yeah, his check down. Yeah, I think Derek Carr had to change his pants a few times when he saw his little safety valve option was gone. But it's so cliche, and everybody knows this, but Belichick is the best in the game at taking away what you're best at. So, like, for most of us, if you play basketball and you're right-handed, he's just making you go left every time. So, whatever it is, he is just taking that crutch away, and he's just going to see how good you are outside of that one, strength you may have.
I love that video of him and Ocho Cinco pregame. You ever seen that one?
Yeah, he's like, we're going to W today, so you're going to have an off day.
He's like, what? Coach, come on, for real? He's like, yeah, we're not going to let you do anything.
What about his sweatshirts? I'm sure you all saw the picture.
Oh,
With
man.
Ratty and all the holes in it.
It was the meme was like like start of the year and then it was him like at I guess I don't know some type of Hall of Fame ceremony. Did he get inducted this year?
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe he was just there to support.
He was
someone.
dolled up at something earlier in the year, but then they said post Corona or whatever.
One of his proteges, Matt Patricia. If you remember last year before last, telling the press to set up and
Have some respect.
for.
You think you would have said that to Bill Belichick? Probably not. No,
Matt Patricia of all people saying that.
it's ridiculous.
Sucks that they got to win, man. He's going to keep him around a little bit.
I know. It was funny. The one, my favorite one was me after running waivers for 12 leagues with that picture of Belichick. It was great though because I I loved the debate of all the tryhards on Twitter. Like this just shows a lack of respect for your possession or your position. You should, it's kind of the Matt Patricias of the world saying, look the part, you're a head coach. And it was this great thing that I love from Connor, one of your favorites, my old boss, Tucker Max, said, because someone accused him on LinkedIn, Tucker used an F-bomb or something in one of his posts, and the guy was like, I don't think it's ever appropriate to swear at work. And Tucker said, I don't answer to the same people that you answer to.
Amen.
Me using profanity is a very powerful signal about how I see myself and who I answer to. And I thought the exact same thing when I saw that I was like, Belichick doesn't answer to the same people that we answer to.
Yep.
He can dress like that.
Yep.
He's earned that. He's the definition of
Yeah.
unbothered. Why does he need anybody's approval? He doesn't care to sleep there, not eat, not comb his hair, not shower. That dude, he'll show up in a potato sack or cut holes in a ball bag and show up and go coach.
That's why he's GOAT, dude.
Yeah,
and
that's
and,
right.
he's got himself an attractive lady. I mean,
Got himself a boat,
yeah.
a good-looking dog.
Yeah.
he's
living, man.
he's doing great.
He's a
doing
G.
just fine.
He's a G.
It is the literal Colin Cowherd, not to keep getting in the weeds with some of these hot takes of talking heads, but he went on, he doubled down on the Carson Wentz backward hat thing.
Oh, Lord.
So it's that whole tired take of like, you got to look the part. It's like, honestly, you can treat everybody the same differently in that regard, but those that have earned it, like, you'll get as much slack as you've earned.
That's right.
So-
Brett Favre was always allowed to do whatever the hell he wanted because he was Brett Favre. The coaches acknowledge that.
the
Bill
same-
Belichick is the same thing.
Same in every industry.
And he's also, it's kind of under the radar. Like, we make fun of Bob, Bill O'Brien for being coach and GM. Bill Belichick's the same thing in New England, so he ain't going to fire himself for looking like trash during the press conference.
No.
So let's hit a couple more of these here, Addy. Julian Love.
Yeah, I mean, I think so, especially with Peppers going down. He seemed like he was in some pain there. So, yeah, Julian Love, he's been great.
Love it. Let's
Josh.
look at me. Didn't even mean to. Just a professional. Mike Hilton, DB for the Steelers. I think no brainer. He shouldn't be out there.
No, I mean, yeah,
on
he
your waivers.
should be definitely owned in cornerback leagues. I mean, he's
And started.
He's been productive for a long time.
How many
Yes.
Steelers are on this list? Did we count?
So it looks like 2 right now. Vince Williams and Mike Hilton.
But we did discuss
The pressure.
5 of them,
Yeah.
5 or
The
6 of
the
them.
defense, the best defense. I mean, they're
We didn't even mention Edmonds or Minka.
That's right.
Finka.
Finka Fitzpatrick. I like that name a lot better. He should do that.
That is tight. Shout out Finka.
Rebrands. All right, Connor, I'm going to you for this one. Kari Willis, 4% rostered in Yahoo leagues.
I think the Colts secondary has had an impressive performance. I think Kari is one to keep an eye on. I like their new guy, Julian Blackmon. He's getting an increase in snaps after coming off an ACL. I think he played at Utah. He's always kind of been known as a guy that can make some big plays. So that's just somebody to really, really keep on the radar. And I think I sent you all this. I think PFF graded out Markham, your all's former guy, Xavier Rhodes closed. Of course, he got to play against the JV team this last
2
week. but
interceptions.
He is the number 1 ranked, I think, thus far. I don't know if it's for the whole season or what, but he's the number 1 ranked cornerback in the league. So
Wow.
I'd say getting 2 picks and getting to play the Jets probably
Yeah,
helped buoy
yeah.
that score.
that was
a
a
little
stat
bit.
game.
Y'all have had a pretty cake schedule.
Oh, the
And
easiest
it's-
possible schedule. And we knew that going into the season. You saw those
It's-
charts or whatever with the easiest schedules.
Jags, Vikings,
Yeah. And
Jets. God.
Yeah, and we have the Bears, which are 3-0 teams. So
Yeah.
but still, I'm not scared of the Bears.
No.
We need to be 5-3 in the first 8 games. No worse. As easy as that schedule. We should not lose 2 more games in the upcoming because we play
true.
the Ravens and the Bears, but there's a lot of cupcake games in there.
It's
Yeah.
true.
In
We
my
gotta-
opinion.
Gotta
And-
stack some wins.
And your division's trash outside the Titans.
It really is.
It is, yeah.
So, and they may be all infected with COVID and not be able to play the rest of the season. So
Kari, Blackmon, and if you're super needy and need somebody, I mean, maybe if it's cornerback required league, maybe, I mean, see how Xavier does. I don't know.
Xavier
But
Yeah.
Rhodes.
He'd be fine.
The other guy there we love is Kenny.
Kenny Moore.
Kenny Moore's a stud.
Rock Ya-Sin is still out. He's had an illness. They're saying he's possibly going to be back this week against the Bears. So, I mean, I
He doesn't
wouldn't.
have the COVID, does he?
No, they said it wasn't
good.
COVID related. Of course, they can't say much with HIPAA, but yeah, I like Kari. I like Blackmon as well. And again, if you're super desperate in a quarterback league, maybe look at Xavier, see what he does.
Love it. Eddie, Chauncey, Gardner, Deuce Trace Johnson. If you can find him on Sleeper to pick up. Any
Yeah.
interest there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if he's listed as a cornerback, if he's listed as a safety, probably not.
If he's listed by his birth name, probably not.
Right.
Chauncey Deuce, though, sure. Jalen Johnson, this is a guy for the Cowboys I picked up and played this week. Had a nice little game, I think 6.5 points. So getting a lot of snaps. This was a recommendation from Johnny the Greek. I went back to the well this week with Johnny, was like, help me, my wise Yoda, look at, these are my cornerbacks. These are the guys out on waivers. He's like, oh, go get Jalen Johnson right now. He's playing his same percentage of snaps as Jordan Fuller.
See, I gotta hit up Johnny because my cornerback situation has been a nightmare this year. Been really tough.
He has not led me astray. I'm 3-0 in that league.
Yeah.
And my cornerbacks play has been very solid.
Also want to add, you need to check on Avery Williamson. He could be out there, still. Mac Wilson as well. If someone's gotten impatient and dropped him, sift through it and check on those guys.
That's right. So let's do the IDP Q&A. This week's question, Addy. So, Connie, you're the village idiot for this portion. We're trying to help you out and players like you who are just new to the IDP game. And one of the toughest things is trades. So, Addy, let's help the listeners out. How should you value IDP versus offense in a trade?
Oh, me. This is a tough one. This is one that a lot of people have trouble with. To me, I'm always going to prefer your stud offensive guys. Like you're never going to be able to one for one a stud offense guy for
You're not trading CMC for Darius Leonard, essentially.
Never going to happen. The best you can really do, I think you could trade like Darius Leonard for, what do you think, Josh? Someone like,
it's tough this year because there's been so many injuries. But
I know.
Like in a redraft league, so that kind of puts a wrinkle on it too. Dynasty versus redraft, but I don't know, maybe I'm thinking like that, 15th ranked wide receiver or something like that, somewhere in the 12 to 15 range.
Yeah, maybe like a Mark Andrews.
I was going to ask if Tyreek was too much for like your top.
Too much.
Too much for Darius. Yep.
Yeah.
What about AJ Brown? Healthy,
Potentially, sure.
Healthy. What about Aaron Jones? It's too much.
I think I'd probably still want Aaron Jones. It's tough. Running backs are everyone's
Josh Jacobs,
cling to the running backs.
Joe
No,
Mixon,
too much. Joe Mixon, yes. Joe Mixon's been a struggle. So I think you could probably get Joe Mixon for Darius Leonard, but you're looking at not a top 35 offensive player. I think you're looking at somewhere like in that 40 to 50 range.
That makes sense because that's where in you and Bobby did the combined dynasty rankings, like 700 players, and I think your first IDPs came in around 45 or so.
Probably like No Hunter or Myles Garrett. They were probably in that 40 range.
I think what Z-Max put in here is accurate in that D linemen tend to hold the most value. There are a few linebackers who are elite that have that kind of top shelf value as well. But typically, you're going to get more back for a defensive lineman because what you're looking for, Connie, is assurance, that kind of safe floor. That's what's nice about offensive studs is unless they get hurt, you're pretty much guaranteeing a floor of production because of the role they have.
Just your ROI is higher
right.
typically with an offensive guy who's going to be out there. That's the way I did the IDP league this year is I didn't neglect the defense, but I waited a long time before I got in and started really getting heavy. But I went D-line first. That's kind of what I had read. They kind of hold the most value. They get the most tackles and pressures and sacks, and they're interacting the most. And I went linebacker next. And again, secondary was obviously kind of last. So again, I'm learning more and more. But I guess my last question to put a bow on this question would be, let's say the best defensive player, whether it be a D lineman or whoever, is that about what they're worth on the offensive end? Is about the top half, like 15th best offensive player
per position? Yeah. So when
I think they're a little underrated. I mean, people won't. That's the thing. People won't give you those stud offensive pieces. But I mean, truly, if you get someone like Myles Garrett or like a game wrecker, they really are a little underrated. Especially in redrafts and stuff. When you're only starting. If you're starting 4 D lines a week, having a stud there is a huge advantage because that's such a scarce position anyway. So there's a lot of factors to take into account there. But
right, sure.
But your defensive linemen, that's the guys you want to target, I think,
It should
if
get you
you-
like a top 15 flex option of some
Right.
kind, depending on, I guess, the scenario
Yeah.
and layout of the league and the teams involved. So just to
It's-
kind of know a barometer
Yeah,
of where
somebody
that top
like-
piece gets you.
Yeah, somebody like Myles Garrett. Would you trade if you were the Julio Jones manager? Would you trade Julio for Myles Garrett?
Potentially. I mean, if I had, depending on my lineup and the receivers I had, because, receiver, you can kind of like linebacker for IDP. You
It's
can
very deep this
You
year.
can find them on the waivers. Like we've talked about all these different linebackers that you can pick up. You can kind of manufacture a group of linebackers and safeties, whereas DL, if you miss out on the
very
draft,
hard. Yeah.
good luck. I mean, it's really tough.
It
It's
is
really
tough.
tough to land a stud on the waivers.
So we'll try to tackle questions like these each week to help you all just become a little more informed if this is your first IDP league or if you've been doing it a few years but still have questions. We'll try to help you guys out each week.
So let's see. A trade that I did recently, I guess a stud, was Tremaine Edmonds for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I love that trade.
It's a fine trade.
Yeah, it's in roster trade questions are tough because no trade happens in a vacuum.
Right.
It's always roster construction to keep in mind.
I was LBU and I made a trade with RBU.
That's right. So it worked out beautifully. Ben needed linebackers. This was with our boy Fantasy Guru, bro. Go check out their website. They're doing awesome work.
Love you, Ben.
But he was very needy at linebacker, and this is a salary cap league, so it's not a true dynasty league, but it's most analogous to that. And so, Addy, you needed running back help, and so it worked out really well. And that's
Yeah.
another thing, too. Look at the team that you're trading with. It's not always going to be the same trade depending on which player is on which team. A trade may make sense in one league because the manager of that particular player has a surplus of wide receivers, and so they're willing to move a Julio to get a Myles Garrett.
Yep.
But if you went to the manager that had Julio and the wide receiver 28 and 42 as his next two guys, probably not going to
No.
make that trade.
No.
So it's always league dependent and context specific. But yeah, in general, your top IDP assets come in somewhere around that 30 to 45 mark.
Makes sense.
Yes.
Every situation is a snowflake. They're all different and
All
can
different,
have
all
different
beautiful.
context.
That's right.
You a snowflake?
Snowflakes and Proud Boys, man. We got super political on this.
We did.
Mass denying.
Making me very uncomfortable.
What was it? Virus denier.
Yeah, my virus denier. So, Addy, we're going to play real quickly here our favorite game show.
I should probably do it big here.
Yeah, you probably should.
Who'd you get?
Who'd you get? Our favorite game show where we talk about the players that we acquired. Now, this is, obviously from the past week because waivers have not gone through, but this is where we talk about anyone we picked up off waivers or traded for last week that is notable. I'll go first here. Not a lot of guys to write home about, but like I said, the aforementioned Jalen Johnson, Andrew Wingard is how you pronounce this, but I'm going Wingard because that sounds a hell of a lot cooler. Mo Alley Cox and David Moore. So very happy to scoop up Gigantor. Had
Hell yeah.
another great game on Sunday. Didn't play him because I didn't have to. I've got Higbee in that league along with Greg Olson. So he's just a little bit of tight end insurance.
Nice little luxury piece for you now.
Exactly. And now with Paris Campbell going down and, we didn't even talk about it, but Michael Pittman with the compartment syndrome in the leg.
That's not
that
good,
is
could've been
right?
really
scary.
bad.
That's potentially
Said it was
losing your
handled
leg.
really well, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's good.
But dude, I mean, Cox is great.
He is. He's. I want Mo of him. I want Mo of him in my
Sure.
roster and my
Sure.
lineups. So very
Yeah.
excited to have him.
I mean, he's good. I mean, and Rivers loves to throw it to him.
He's the highest graded, and again, this is all just contextual. It's not like, and I don't think this is like all time if he's just talking about, but it's the PFF grade for Mo Alley Cox is the highest of any tight end for like a third week in a row.
Wow.
So just
He's-
like
he's
with
looked
Xavier
great,
Rhodes,
man.
that one. I mean, you can definitely dog him for letting that one ball pop up and getting a pick on Philly Rivs a week or two ago. But I mean, otherwise, man, he has just been
he's crazy
He's just a
efficient.
monster running down the field. He seems sure-handed. He moves well when he gets the ball. So I love him. I hope because you saw Trey Burton is scheduled to potentially come back. He wants to play against the Bears this week.
Jack
the team
Doyle,
that cut him.
Is going to be.
I don't know if he got a target last game, and he
should.
played.
He should.
Yeah,
They
and
need to
this-
let Mo Alley eat.
I agree.
Jack Doyle, I think at this point is a progress stopper for Mo Alley Cox.
Let Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, get HaHa Clinton Dix in there, and let's have
I want to see
great
Trey
time.
Burton too. They said he was awesome in camps. I want to see him play, get some revenge against the team that cut him. And yeah, man, prayers for Michael Pittman, dude. That is super scary. I think that's what happened to Hakeem Nicks early in his career, and it changed his career in a lot of ways. So hopefully they're hoping he can come back after the bye week in like week 9 or 10.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been just brutal on the Colts injury front between Marlon Mack and Malik Hooker and Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman. Thank God we had a nice, deep stable of players here to take these guys' place. Addy, who'd you get?
Got Josh Allen in our Big 3 IDP listener league.
What's going on, listener league folks? What happened? Who do we have to yell at?
No, we need to trace that back and scold somebody.
It was
yeah,
Connor.
it was Connor.
Connor's just sitting there like,
No.
uh-oh.
Josh, no, he knows Josh Allen for the Kentucky boy. But yeah, I was able to pick up Josh Allen off of his bummer 2 weeks. I oftentimes forget, like, we play in these leagues with, everyone that's dialed in all the time. That's not really the norm. There's a lot of people that are really emotional when they play fantasy, like, in our home leagues and stuff. We see people do dumb stuff all the time. No different in IDP, and I'd say probably even more so in IDP. Just because
there's greater fluctuations in IDP.
Right.
We've said this all along. That's why you can't get too emotional when you're playing IDP, because guys are going to crap your team more often on the defensive side of the ball.
And that's why even if you're set, even if you think your roster is set, you need to always pay attention to the waivers, just because there are some dopes out there that, no disrespect.
There's some dopes out there.
It furthers your
Allen.
point of what you were talking about on the question of why do you favor, getting offensive studs. It's a safer bet. It's your S&P 500 versus, going out and try to do penny stocks or something. So
Absolutely.
it's a safer return on what you're looking for. And it seems like you can shop, the waiver wire and pick up guys and kind of plug and chug, maybe easier on the defensive end. So that makes sense.
I'm not wanting to go bargain shopping every single week. Like, I'm going to hold these guys and trust the talent and opportunity is going to win out.
Yeah.
You may get burned doing that, but man, playing that chasing the points week after week on the waiver wire is a dangerous way to live.
Yeah. This league, though, I'm going to have to. This was the one.
Me and you both, yeah.
I had Saquon, CMC, Nick Bosa.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so I was thrilled to get Josh Allen.
You were also grilling, I think, while the auction was going on.
That was the one I checked. I tuned out, the most.
Yeah. So we have a question here, Addy. Let's pause your "Who'd you get" segment.
Oh, sweet! Thanks.
We have a question from our boy Kurt B in the listener league.
Let's
I'm gonna
go.
throw it up on the screen. Is my boy Tracy Walker back?
I mean, 100% of the snaps. After he was down to 53%, it certainly seems like that. But Patricia's an idiot. So I can't guarantee anything. But I mean,
In a perfect world, Tracy is back. But we live in an imperfect world, Kurt.
Tracy only needs 50% of the snaps to be a safety too. So I mean, you're probably not going to pull him. I mean,
I'm never sitting Tracy down.
I'm not either. I'm never
way.
going to either. I didn't this week, even though I think that we might have recommended on the thing. I didn't sit him anywhere.
You couldn't
and
do
I've got
it.
him almost everywhere.
You looked at him in the eyes, and you're like, "I'm not setting you down. I love you too much.
Can't do that.
Love you too much." All right, finish up. Who'd you get?
Eric Wilson wearing the green dot, playing 100% of the snaps almost. Didn't have the tackle numbers that we like to see, but ended up making a big play or two, and had a solid day. Kevin Pierre-Louis, out there in Washington.
Not a great week, but
I mean, still played the majority of the snaps. So yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be fine going forward. Again, the players have down weeks. Don't freak out too much. He's been solid. Mac Wilson, I was able to find him, I think, in 2 or 3 leagues.
Understandable though.
Yeah, I mean, people thought he was going to be out for the year, but I think this guy has LB2, LB3 potential the second half of the season. So I think you need to go ahead and scoop him now. And then I was able to get Joe Thomas in a league,
in a offensive tackle required league.
Yeah, right. He
Joe is
unretired.
He is looking svelte. Had a great performance on the Titan games, one of our favorite programs that we have chronicled many times on this show.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's still going on?
No, it ended.
The tight one games.
The tight one games. It was a great finale.
Shout out Bartley Weaver.
Yeah, that's right.
Bowling Green and Kentucky State Trooper.
That's
he went on there and lost to the
eventual
champion.
Yep.
Chris, is that his name? Chris something?
I don't remember.
He's that
but-
CrossFitter dude that was just like in stupid shape.
Yeah, he was. We broke this down in detail. How Bartley Weaver messed up on one of the. I don't think you were a regular member of the show yet.
Head on down to Elmaz and get you a Bartley ball.
There you go. If you're in Bowling Green, or if you're at a Titans game, he's the Titan. So
Yeah, so he's a lot of places. Or maybe pulling you over.
Yeah, exactly.
Done.
That as well.
Telling you to spread them. Get your ass up against the car.
That's right. So moving on from that awkward foray into Titan games territory, we're going to hit the main segment now, fellas, and talk about the 10 most disappointing players so far through 3 weeks of 2020. Look, we're all a little disappointed. Coronavirus has got us down, but these are guys that we had some hope and some trust invested in, Connie. And so far, through 3 weeks, we are not having that investment that we made returned back to us.
I think this year in general, and we talked about this in regards to the injuries, we just have a situation where no preseason, right? Everybody has been just banging on this drum for so long of we don't need the preseason. It causes more injuries, or it causes, teams can start out the gate quicker. But I think along with the injuries, we're going to see some guys underwhelm maybe a little more than we would traditionally, just like we're saying with the injuries this year. Man, it seems like there's some more. Maybe that's due to under conditioning and not being around the facilities and not being able to scrimmage and hit again and get your body used to that. So hard to say. That's just my initial takeaway on both aspects if you have guys underperforming or have an injury bug.
Yeah. So I think it's a combination of things, teams not having as much ramp up, no preseason, and some guys that, new situations or coming off of injuries. I think we'll see that kind of recurring here. So let's start at the top, Addy. One of our boy Bobo's favorite players. Hopefully you weren't counting on him in your redraft leagues this year. It is Isaiah Simmons for the Cardinals, only averaging 18% of snaps. Week 3 had 15%. ADP, this is all from IDP guys, which does skew dynasty, so keep that in mind. But it's a pretty good representation here of where guys were being drafted. LB 37, current rank, LB 128.
Yeeks.
So that is almost non-factor. Like, who are these people? These aren't real NFL player territory.
Yeah, I mean, he's just young. He's just, and then like Connor kind of mentioned, the wackiness of the offseason and all that stuff that hasn't helped him. It's just going to be hard for some of these rookies. So yeah, I mean, he's fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be probably one of the best linebackers in the game in a few years, but it's going to take some time with this one. So,
do you think he's going to play safety at all? That's kind of been the buzz.
Potentially. I mean, I saw where they, with Buddha missing, this week and maybe another, that they might try him out there. But I don't know. Just sounds like they don't really know what to do with him.
They're just like, asking, should we start him at safety? What about cornerback? Hey,
he wasn't very good at linebacker.
Yeah.
Let's try him at safety.
Defensive tackle, anyone? No. Okay, so we're not going to do that. All right, sorry. So yeah, don't panic on Isaiah Simmons. Drop him in redraft for God's sake. Don't keep holding him in redraft. But dynasty,
I did. I was
panic.
I was going through the players available and stuff, looking at who I could pick up for waivers this week, and I did gasp. Isaiah Simmons was out there, but it was a redraft league.
Yeah, you're like, oh wait, no, he should absolutely be out here. He's LB 128. We should mention these player ranks are from our RSO league, the one that we mention quite frequently on the pod. Connor, I want to talk about this next guy here, Dante Fowler Jr., averaging 61% of snaps. Week 3, only 34%. ADP was D lineman 23, and right now he is the defensive end 42. So should IDP players be worried at all about Dante Fowler?
I think you can be worried about every player on the Falcons right now. That's where he's at right now currently,
That's right.
isn't he? So
Yes.
it's hard to trust anybody with them right now.
They are shook. They are seeing ghosts.
It's just kind of the way I feel about it, whether you're talking about guys on offense or defense here like Dante Fowler Jr. So I'm straying away from any guys. I'm fading the Falcons across the board, offensively and defensively. I think they're a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, the 61% of snaps is pretty good, Addy, for a defensive lineman. But I don't know. You drafted this guy hoping maybe he'd be a defensive lineman 2-3. Right now, he's closer to that like defensive lineman 4-5 territory.
Yeah, not great, but give him some time. New situation.
That's right.
Let's just be patient. I think he's going to be okay.
These first two guys we have to keep in mind. New situation, Fowler with a new team, Simmons as a rookie. DeMarcus Lawrence averaged 47% of snaps. Week 3, only 41%. ADP, I was high on him coming into the season. DL 18, player rank, defensive end 59. Addy, speak to it because you're feeling the pain right now.
Yeah, not good. Not good. That trade I made with Josh for Keenan Allen, that really was not fun this last week. I think I got who was it? I got Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver was a win. That was a nice piece. But yeah, Christian Kirk, yikes.
Non-factor.
And then DeMarcus Lawrence, not good. I did clear up a ton of cap, so we will hang our hat on that. But Miss Keenan missed the drip. So,
but you're worried about that shoulder cyst thing going on.
I was worried about Tyrod,
And then Herbert comes in, and
then the doctor comes in with the shot.
He's like, "I got Herbert on my dynasty squad. Shot, lungs punctured."
That's like a nightmare scenario. And speaking of the Cowboys with DeMarcus Lawrence, did you all catch what Jerry Jones?
Oh my gosh.
Is there anybody
Jerry
that
needs
can't
to talk less?
Yeah, is there anybody? I mean, him and Trump are definitely in that same category of like they cannot not get the last word in on literally everything.
Old white man, shut the hell up.
So he was just loving just going after him. And what was so crazy is he compared him to Mahomes
and
Tony
Romo.
Romo.
Yeah, of all people.
I was like, Jerry, have you been in a like cryogenically frozen or in a coma for the last like 10 or 15 years
Possibly,
and know
yes.
why? And again, that's like I said the other day, I thought Burrow was very Romo-esque. I think Romo had a great career, but don't trash Dak like that. That's just, I don't know what the ploy there is, the public negotiation tactic.
That's
but
exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's just
Jerry telling Dak, "You're not worth the money you think you are."
he's gaslighting him, basically, is what he's doing. Don't you think?
Well,
Basically trying to publicly convince him and psychologically convince the public that like he is this when the stats say otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those tough things to quantify, and I know there are stats out there that can do it, but like your clutch factor, like can you be the quarterback late in the game that's going to make the play? I don't know if Dak's that guy, but Dak deserves to get paid like a top quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
This is not hard. Do you want to go try to find someone else,
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah, go out there, Jerry.
Good luck.
Yep. Trade for Kirk.
See what happens. Go live that life for a little bit.
Yeah, what's your options, dude? You're gonna be too good to be at the front of the draft. So you're gonna have to nail your draft pick. I mean, dumb.
Just stop.
Dak's fine.
He's fine. So Bradley Chubb, 76% of snaps average. Week 3, 71%. ADP LB 26. Right now, player rank of LB 89. We talked about it a little bit. This is a guy, Connor, that Von Miller going out really hurts this team. Kind of a situation like the Falcons as well, where the Broncos just seem like a team that is just in full tilt mode right now. Chubb also coming off that injury. This, to me, and tell me what you think, seems like a guy that maybe in consideration for your flex, but hopefully you have better options out there.
Yeah, I think that kind of hits the nail on the head of somebody's going to make, that Denver offense is not going to keep them on the field, so he's going to be on the field. So if you don't have, again, like we talked about earlier, I know everything's situational of who do you have to compare this against, but I don't think if you're looking for options, he's definitely somebody to consider because I think Denver's defense is going to be out there quite a bit.
And he's playing.
Good point.
It's high amount of snaps.
Yep. Yeah, and he seems healthy. I mean, and he is one of the 2 playmakers they have left, I think.
That's it. Him and the tree chopper, A.J. Johnson.
A.J. Johnson, Justin Simmons still there, I guess.
There you go. So
I'm
you
a
got
big fan of
couple.
Shelby Harris. We should have probably touched on him. And DT required leagues, man. He's great.
And especially with Jarrell Casey out now.
Yes, absolutely.
Connor put a curse on him.
No comment. It's like on the other guys or whatever it is, like no comment. But yes.
One of my favorite.
Yeah,
games.
that's
good.
That is so good. Does John Elway, our Jeff Driscoll take? We're gonna get beyond freezing cold takes for that a week or two ago. We're like, oh yeah, I can see John Elway loving Driscoll because he's a small.
We
Yeah.
I
say we.
we needed to cut the tape back on. I think Josh
pull the tape. It was probably just me. But
he could fall in love with this Jeff. I don't know, Connor.
Yeah. Is he gonna go after? Is he gonna go after Cam after his one and done in New England?
Probably.
Are the Pats going to keep Cam around?
That's what I think they should.
I don't think Cam wants to stay.
Yeah, Connor has this theory that Cam's he wants to, spread his
Cam's
wings
been a journeyman. He's been a journeyman since college.
Here is the thing that it will determine is the money. Belichick never pays guys for the most part, and Cam's going to want to get a lot of money. He's going to want a long-term deal that's worth a lot of money after this. If the Patriots are willing to give him that, which I don't think Belichick will, I think Cam will stay. But if you're asking me the most likely scenario, it's that Cam goes somewhere else where he can get the bag.
Yeah.
Watch him go back to Carolina. That'd just be hilarious. He just goes and rehabs his image in New England and comes on back.
Denver makes a lot of sense.
It does. Now that Aaron Rodgers seems to be staying put.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him.
So, Elway has to go get somebody because it's not happening with Drew Lock or O'Driscoll or
I could see it.
Ripien.
He loves to bring in the free agent guys. He's already made New England a top 5 team this year. Cam's personality is bigger than New England. Think about how big we thought Tom Brady's personality was on his social media activity and, his Facebook TV show and all that. Cam is definitely that guy and then some. And I'm not saying you can't flourish and have that at New England, but we all know it's very
down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. So, and I think that's why Tom left. Why would he have left? I don't know. I think there's a lot more to story there than just that.
I'm looking forward to that book.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So, and then Cam Givings, as we like to refer to it, his teammate, the J-Face, named after one of our high school classmates who had that classic, you kidding me, look, and then melted off the bench like a snake. Or remember that commercial, that creepy commercial?
The Old Spice one.
Yeah, where what was it, the sun melted off the couch or something?
Yeah.
Very creepy. My new favorite GIF.
Yeah, but say you're a GIF now, Cam, so enjoy that.
Yeah, Cam. I want Swaggy Cam to be out there having fun, and I could just see Elway coming in with a big old chaw and just putting the spiel on Cam and come on out and we'll take good care of you. I think you're right, Connor. I think you're onto something. So Preston Smith, Addy.
That'd be poetic justice, wouldn't it? Because that's who they played against.
The Super Bowl.
It's coming full inception, like full circle. Yeah, sorry for that.
Did you hit both of the microphones?
I think I did. I got super excited hands.
I love it. Let's all do it at once.
No,
Ready?
Stop it. It's not like that cool.
cool.
Preston Smith, Addy. 90% of snaps, week 3, 95%. Wasn't a guy that was drafted, but LB rank 123 in our RSO league right now.
Yeah, I mean, he big play dependent. We knew all this going in.
Big plays aren't coming, apparently.
But maybe now's the time to buy if you're a believer. But I mean,
time is now. The place is now.
Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, I mean, he shouldn't be on your radar. He shouldn't be in your lineups. If he is, you're crossing your fingers and hoping for some sacks.
Hopefully, and that's not a fun game to play. Josh Allen, speak to it, Addy. This is the guy you just picked up. 69% of snaps, as we know, very nice. Week 3, 74%. ADP, D lineman 14, but currently D end 44.
Yep, not
bueno.
Not great, but he's gonna be fine. He's one of the better pass rushers in this league, I think. He's gonna be just fine.
Is this
got him a sack last week? I mean, he's
is this confirmation bias though? Like your who was your running back you spent $200 fab on that didn't make the squad there in Kansas City? Do you even remember who it
DeAndre Washington.
DeAndre Washington.
Yeah, pour one out for DeAndre Washington.
DeAndre Washington.
I mean, he's got 9 pressures on 135 snaps this year. He's playing well. I mean, he's grading out well across the board. Just hold. He's going to be fine. He's good.
Taylor Rapp,
this is not great.
Yeah, we had said that this was a Rapp, 44% of snaps on average, but week 3, 89%.
Ooh, Jordan Fuller's out.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, ADP though, DB 16, player ranked safety 59.
Yeah, I mean, you can start him with Jordan Fuller out.
Exactly.
Maybe he plays good enough to take back his job,
I don't know. Maybe.
but I don't think so. I think Jordan Fuller
I think
is
he's
entrenched.
that dude. I think he's usurped the role entirely. Connie, this next one's kind of surprising. Cameron Jordan, 84% of snaps on average. Week 3, 77%. Coming into the season, ADP of D lineman 8, but rank defensive end 35 right now.
Is he taking a page out of the Drew Brees playbook, just but on defense? Is he getting a little over the hill quicker than we thought, or is this just kind of a slow start for a guy that's going to turn it on later?
Well, I mean that's true. He's getting up there in age, but this is this defense has been without Marcus Davenport, so I think that's maybe
Hendrickson's played nice in his absence.
he's
though.
played good. He's played good.
Because he's 31, so he's played in the league 9 years now, almost 10 years.
I still think he's elite. I mean, he's
Yeah, do you have maybe some pressures? Is he getting the pressures? That would make me feel better because the snaps are there, but DN30, and that's not to say DN35 is nothing to sneeze at, but most people drafted this guy to be their DN1, and right now he's barely scraping into the lineup based on where he's finishing. So if he's getting some of these, these stats that you don't necessarily get points for, I'll feel a little bit better, but
not really creating a lot of pressures.
what's he got so far?
7 pressures on 180 snaps.
That's not great.
So that's what I was
not-
getting at. Not that he's a bum, but just, again, if you're giving sticker value of a guy that's going to be your 1 or your 1A, but he's kind of at the bottom of the barrel, it seems like, in that.
Yeah,
That's only
starting
a
role.
3.8% pressure rate. That
Not
is
great.
Very, very low.
but let's remember he's been playing against good offensive lines, good quarterbacks. We started out Tampa Bay. I don't remember who they played week 2, but then they played Green Bay. He's always hard to sack Rodgers. But they've had a tough schedule. Oh, they played Oakland
there you go.
week 2, and that's a good
That's
offensive
not
line.
a pushover
It's a very
game.
good
It's a
no.
very good offensive line. They invested a lot into this offseason. So he's had tough matchups. I think don't do anything dumb. I would actually that's a buy. This is a definite buy for me.
So he has coming up the Lions, Chargers, Panthers, Bears, Bucks, and 49ers.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
I think we could see a nice stretch from Cam Jordan.
So give me let's double it up. So this is through 3 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, he's DN 35 right now. What's a fair over under in your mind to expect him to move in the ranks?
He's going to be at DE 18.
18. Okay, I was gonna set the over under at 22.5. So you're taking the under.
He's going to have some big weeks.
All right, Connie. What about you? 22.5 over under.
I was thinking in the 20 range as well. So,
There you go. You're
and
taking the
again,
under.
yeah, again, I'm with Mark. I mean, he's kind of had the anti-Colts schedule in terms of strength of schedule to start the year. So you kind of have to grade on a curve with some of this, and still an elite guy, just had a slow start. So plenty of season left.
Don't panic. I love it.
No.
All right, Jabril Peppers has averaged 70% of snaps. Week 3, though, Addy, you mentioned it. He got hurt, only 12% of snaps. Was the DB9, though, coming into the year, and so far, safety 63.
Had a lot of fans out there.
That's right. So the first 2 weeks, though, was just
He wasn't good.
mediocre.
Wasn't
at
putting
best.
up the tackle numbers that that we thought he should, but I don't think people were accounting for the new faces there.
Blake Martinez, I
Blake
think,
Martinez,
is LB1 right now.
Julian Love,
As we expected.
Logan Ryan, he's coming on. So yeah, it's just not the same situation. There's better talent around him now.
He's day-to-day, too, with a low ankle sprain.
Was it
Jabril
low
Peppers.
ankle sprain?
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm looking at him right now just to kind of see what the update was there.
That's
but,
good news then.
Yeah, day-to-day. So hopefully he's somebody that can,
Seemed like it
if
was
you
gonna,
need to stream him.
seemed
be
like
an
it was going to
option.
be worse. But we expected a much bigger year from Jabril than what we've gotten, just because there was no Xavier McKinney now with him being hurt.
That's right.
The Giants are a wreck, man. Both New York teams are just a total. I mean, you could put both. This is how bad I think they
If
are.
you combined the teams,
They'd still be just as bad.
He's terrible.
Daniel Jones sucks.
Sucks. I've seen
Out.
enough.
Yeah, you need to get
Sadly,
rid of him.
I think we're getting that way with Darnold. Like, I think they're going to
Darnold's
be
out.
They've ruined
I'm
him.
out.
I think
Yeah.
Darnold could have a nice career elsewhere. I think he's a talented guy, but it's sort of like he's just cursed in New York. It's not going to work out there. It's a doomed relationship. They've got to get a fresh start.
That would be a good spot for for like New England, someone like to pick someone like Darnold up.
That's the move right there. Go trade a 3rd-round pick for Sam Darnold in the offseason, especially if you know they're locked into a top 1 or 2 pick.
Yeah, I like that.
Which they probably will be. They have the look of like a 1-15 team.
Or if you're Pittsburgh, you got to you got to prepare for the idea, because who do they have now behind Ben? Dobbs?
Dobbs, they brought Dobbs back.
Rudolph Garcia, is he still there?
Rudolph's still there, but his head is caved in on one side, so it's not a great situation.
Still that is an all-time gif, all-time moment of getting your helmet ripped off, manhood taken, and then him thankfully not catching you with like the pointy.
Could have killed him.
Yeah.
But he was hilarious. He was so funny last year, Mason Rudolph. There was that, not obviously the concussion was scary, but them having to remove the face mask and him looking like a space cadet.
That was your phrase when that originally happened, and it was one of my favorites because it was so true. He just looked completely 1,000% gone.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Nobody was home.
So let's talk about this last guy here, Dre Greenlaw, 34% of snaps on average, week 3, not much better, 26%, ADP LB51. So I think I looked at it, I've explained before, like an injury replacement type of guy, but LB 104. And I was like, okay, where's Quan? Because Quan is the guy right now standing in the way of Dre getting this playing time. Well, Quan has been LB 60 through 3 weeks. So I think you could lump Quan into this Dre Greenlaw equation here, Addy, and say that both of the linebackers outside of our baby Fred Warner, who I will look up right now to give y'all his standing.
LB 15, I believe.
LB 15. Yep.
He's on the roster.
He is playing very well. So what do we make of these guys outside of Fred, though, Addy?
Yeah, we just don't want really any part of him. Quan, I think a lot of us thought that he was going to, be productive this year, but it's just, I don't know what the deal is with him. He's getting decent snaps. He's just not converting the tackles anymore.
And Fred looks so good. There's been so many fun videos come out that I've loved watching.
He's so good.
He's so athletic. Like, I think he's the future prototype for the linebacker position.
Just a great coverage linebacker. The interceptions are starting to fall now for him. But yeah, he's one of the best. I mean, he gets hated on. Some people like trying to hate on him. Like, I don't think he's as good as you think he is. Like, no, he's good, bro.
Regression. It's like, well, what if a player gets better? What about that? Does that bust your little regression?
What
model?
linebackers do you like? Who do you like?
I'm fading everyone.
Yeah. That's a common thing.
Yeah.
Dre's got a quad too, so he's not expected to play.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's not expected to play this week. So that'd be one at least for somebody that's disappointed you so far. Don't probably trust him.
Now you
this
have an
week.
excuse to keep him on the bench.
Keep him on the bench.
Addy's gonna add one here, boys.
Hit it, Addy.
Corey Littleton.
I knew you were going to bring him up. It's a page out of Bobby's book. Let's just slip the guys in that have personally wronged me on my roster.
Hey, this guy has wronged everybody.
That's true.
And he is a dumpster fire on PFF grades right now. He is like awful. Like 30s, like he's in the 30s, 40s right now. Like not good. Like every week.
Failing. I wanted to see his position rank too. So LB 75.
Yeah, and so this was a guy that you had to spend a top 10 linebacker pick on, and that is not getting it done. So yeah, last week he had his best week so far, but still, it was only 10.5 points.
Man, I wanted to look up because I saw this insane tweet about Corey Littleton missed tackles. You might have seen this.
Oh,
as
it's
well.
bad. Yes,
it was. I'm not going to be able to find it here.
I'll be able to find it for you, baby.
So. It was, here it is. It was our boy, of course. Who else would it have been but our boy John Macri? Corey Littleton had just one missed tackle in all of 2019. He now has six missed tackles through 3 games on the Raiders.
Wow.
You just have to wonder maybe if he was propped up by a good defensive scheme, good defensive coaching, maybe some underrated but good supporting talent there in L.A., and now that he's the guy on the marquee, not quite as good as what we thought.
Yeah.
Missed tackles are good, kind of like pressures are indicative of D linemen who are good. Missed tackles are a good indication of linebackers who are bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking at missed tackles, Corey Littleton leads the league in missed tackles as far as linebackers go with Zach Cunningham. Micah Kaiser's right underneath him. But
there you go.
Here's the grades he has right now. His overall defensive grade is a 29.8.
Oh, it's worse than what you said somehow.
Yeah, his coverage grade, which is what he was really good at last year, it's 33.3 this year. It was it was in the 78s last year.
That's not good, Connie.
But, new situation. Let's be patient. I mean, it's been, it's a new situation, but it's also changed with no Nick Quick, so he's probably having to play a different role. I don't know. It's just I'm willing to be patient with Corey Littleton. I think
Are you benching him? I'm benching him if I'm a manager right now.
I didn't, but I have Avery Williamson, who I probably should be starting over him now.
I was gonna say I think I'm starting Avery Williamson from the dumpster fire Jets, Connie.
Yeah, that's that again. Just put both New York teams together, and you probably still have a team that's like 5-11.
Yeah, it's generous.
Yeah, that, even at that
3-13.
Yeah, that may be too much.
So that was our segment there on the 11 most disappointing players through 3 weeks. Let's just get them at it with one of those.
Yeah.
And you know what? Give me one more of those. So, Connie, as we wrap up, we teased
9 more of those.
Yeah,
Joshy.
just keep it going, Eddie. That's good. I'm going to cut off your board access. Let's wrap up here, Connie, with we teased it earlier. The story from Cincinnati, one of our favorites. Anytime I hear triple Baconator, I can't help but think of it. Regale the listeners with one of my favorite Connor Nights You Don't Remember with Friends You'll Never Forget stories.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Were we on a bachelor trip?
No, I think it was just our annual Cincinnati trip.
Right.
Yeah. So once upon a time, we were going on Reds trips pretty regularly. Had a sweet hookup with family member of ours who was the third base coach for a while. So shout out Mark Berry. He no longer works with them, but he had a great tenure with the Reds.
Mark, we know you're listening, baby.
We know you're listening, Mark. Thank you for being a big supporter.
Love you, Mark.
Of the big three. But anyway, Uncle Mark would hook it up, give us all tickets. We'd go have a big time, go to Hofbräu House.
Garfield Inn.
Garfield Inn.
Casino.
Yeah, go to the casino.
Been blacklisted from the Garfield.
Yeah, our pictures are up at the front desk. Do not let these people in.
Yeah, we're not going to incriminate on that, but we were asked to leave our hotel and had to drive home in the middle of the night, like 4 hours to back, because it was literally everything was booked out. But on this specific trip, again, this was an annual trip, so I could take 40 different stories and give you this,
Truly.
but
Truly.
I think a day of probably making some decisions of overindulging and being out in the hot sun and dehydrating led us to Wendy's, and
It was a late Wendy's run.
It was a late Wendy's
like
run.
9 p.m. or after.
And I did something I've never done because I'm such a creature of habit, and I pulled the Greg Raymer move, and I said, what do you suggest? And the guy literally just responded with triple Baconator, which, of course, I didn't really know what it was. I think it was a new item.
It was their most expensive item
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I think it was like a $10 burger, so it made that Farrell's $4 burger seem
And also,
cheap.
Connie, you were doing an accent the entire time.
Was he really?
Yes, it was an Australian. He was doing an Australian accent.
Yeah,
Oh my
I was
God.
into bits, so
I forgot that part of the story.
I'm sure it was crude and everything else, but your boy put that triple Baconator down, and I think I'm still having like artery and heart issues with it. But it was just a pride thing because I ordered it, and immediately when I got it, it was
too much.
It was instant regret.
Legitimately, if you're watching the live stream, this triple Baconator is a good 6 inches tall.
Yeah, if you've
Too
never
big.
had one, just go get one.
They don't
tomorrow.
make it anymore because people died. Like 8 people died in New
Oh,
York
they don't make
eating
it.
this thing.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Just kidding, but you believe
yeah.
it, right?
I was
You
gonna say
believe
I live to tell the tale,
that
so I
was
can't be
possible.
killed.
Yeah, I wasn't going to look it up. I believed it.
That's the world we live in. So, yeah, Connie, I thought another good segment here, and tell me what you think of this, kind of live on the pod reaction. I would like to bring maybe the gambling aspect maybe into the show a little
We
more.
were talking about this. Me and Connie, we need to start, like, if we ever discuss games, we always need to mention the lines.
Yes. Can you bring us some of the gambling aspect here to the show, Connie? Maybe some of your favorite prop bets or over-unders or
Yeah,
stuff
for
like
sure.
that?
I obviously have to kind of, sit back and take a back seat to these guys when they're, getting in their nerdy stat shit. So I don't know as much on that, but gambling wise, I am kind of I am a degenerate in that regard. So I don't sports gamble, but I do like to keep up with it just in terms of knowing how Vegas and where the money's going and everything else. I would love to do that. That'll be
Excellent.
something we can tease
Love
for the
it.
next sode.
That's right. So stay tuned to Connie's Gambling Corner.
And the boys try White Castle
Yeah, that's right. White
coming
Castle,
next week.
Gambling. It's going to be great.
It's going to be chicken ring thing day up in here.
Oh, take me back to high school.
Speaking of gambling, DFSSS, tune in.
Dropping on Thursday night, right?
Yes, sir. Live show now. We're not doing the podcast. Live show.
Check it out.
A lot of fun.
Great format
We're
for that.
killing it. We're every week we're in the money.
In the money, baby.
That's what we do.
Is that coming back our way at all?
I don't think so.
We got to pay off this board.
Say a little kickback.
All right. Well, hope you guys have enjoyed this. So look at us. We actually did it under an hour and a half. I'm proud of you all.
Let us know what you thought of the new format, babies.
It's a throwback to our days gone by from year one of the Big 3 IDP podcast, but it feels a little more true, adding to the spirit of the show. Hope you enjoyed those stats because you're never going to hear them again.
That's right.
Lauren, thank you for setting us straight, baby. We appreciate you. We should also give a shout out to our newest supporter of the podcast, Aaron Mayberry, a.k.a. Dynasty DVM on Twitter, joined up as a patron of the podcast, Addy. So thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. We've talked on Twitter before. Good, knowledgeable dude. Thank you for your support, bro.
In one of our listener leagues, the auction league that we mentioned. So
Yep.
Very much love having him as part of that league, and thanks again. And thanks to our other sponsors as well, Mediocre, Lauren, and Nico. We love and appreciate you guys.
Mediocre. I got to get your Aaron Donald out.
He's given up.
I'm gonna give it to you. Tonight.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna give it to you tonight. I have to.
Tonight? Okay.
I'm gonna leave it on your doorstep.
Thank you. Like a little present. And it'll get taken away by chipmunks or squirrels or something. So, but check us out on Twitter. We're dropping the game recap nugs over there at Big 3 IDP. Since we're not doing the game recap sods anymore, you can check out all of our takes on each team's highest IDP scores. Those will be dropping tomorrow as well. Today was round 1. Tomorrow's round 2. If you guys like that, we'll be doing that each week. And shout out to ZMax for helping us get those, get all the info pulled together for the doc, for the podcast, for the tweets, Addy. It's just
ZMax, we love you, man. You're
crushing it.
Crucial to that year 2 leap.
And we will take you guys out with the year 2 leap and a final endorsement from our favorite quarterback.
Hey guys, this is Andrew Luck. Be sure to subscribe to the Big 3 IDP Podcast.
All right, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning into the live stream. Y'all take care.